Okay, first of all, if we can get the torch champion students all in this area over here, where my finger's pointing, all the student.
Good morning, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Office of the Lieutenant Governor of Ontario. Before we begin, a brief item of business. There is an official photographer, and so we would ask you to please refrain from taking photographs, especially if it requires you to get up from your seats and to enter the front area or the middle aisles. And also a reminder about cell phones and pagers at this time. And ladies and gentlemen, I would ask you to please rise and join me in welcoming their honors, the Honorable David C. Onley, Lieutenant Governor of Ontario, and her honor, Mrs. Ruth Ann Onley.
Thank you for being here on this important occasion, certainly important for all of you for very obvious reasons, which will become clearer and clearer in the next number of moments. And for Ruth Ann and myself, as this is our very first in-house official ceremony in my term as the 28th Lieutenant Governor of Ontario. So it gives us great pleasure to welcome all of you here today for this very important occasion, something that is, in terms of its general theme, is very near and dear to my heart. So, Mr. Marcello, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to welcome you here to Queen's Park. It's a real pleasure to, as well, see some very familiar faces from my previous career, and we'll be addressing that later on too, I'm sure, after words in the reception. But I like to quote people whenever I can, and the philosopher Confucius is one of those people who wrote, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." We've all heard that at one point or another in our lives, and I suppose if we think back to where we are now in terms of our careers and in terms of our lives, we can think back to what some of those first steps actually were. In 1997, though, George Marcello's journey of many thousand kilometers across Canada and around Europe began with the step taken by a grieving family 2 years before. It is estimated that each deceased donor in Canada helps an average of 3 patients facing death from organ failure. Some can save even more. By donating his organs, the family of the late Olympic swimmer Victor Davis helped save 6 lives. By one unknown donor whose liver saved George Marcello from almost certain death in 1995 is probably indirectly thus saved thousands of lives. And how many more will there be in the future, we simply don't know, but there will be many more. So because of that one act of generosity, it set Mr. Marcello out on his journey to raise public awareness of Canada's low rate of organ and tissue donations. It is quite shockingly low, and I know most of you are aware of that, for a nation of people who pride themselves on their justifiable neighborliness and, frankly, generosity. And Canadians are indeed generous. We do volunteer. We donate our time. We donate goods. We donate money to worthy causes. And we rally when called upon to remedy injustice or to honor great deeds. We do like to donate. But in this one area of donating organs, we lag behind most developed nations. For example, Spain, with the highest organ donations rate in the world, has 25.1 donations per million population. Other countries like Austria with 24.8 per million and France with 22.5 per million are not far behind. Canada, however, according to data released in 2004, has a rate of only 13.5 million, a figure that has remained stagnant over the past 10 years. The picture of living donations is brighter. The number of living donors is double what it was 10 years ago, so progress is being made there. But even that figure has plateaued over the most recent 2 years surveyed. Now, experts point to our aging population and fewer traumatic injury deaths as possible causes, and I know that in my previous career I reported on that and discussed that with various experts. But I tend to agree with Mr. Marcello. Like him, I believe that if Canadians were made aware of the desperate need for organ and tissue donations, they would respond with their customary generosity that features the fabric of the rest of our culture. And this is why I wish Step to Step's 6th campaign, SOS4000, every success in achieving its goal of reaching Canadians from coast to coast and inspiring them to learn more about the importance of organ and tissue donation. And so in the name of the Queen, I commend George Marcello and the volunteers of Step by Step for your dedication to this great cause. And I also thank the 100 young people who will take part in this year's campaign for relaying the torch of life across Canada to inspire an entire nation. Thank you all very much.
And thank you very much, Your Honor. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Lori Avitan, President and CEO of Multimedia Nova. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Lori Avitan, President and CEO of Multimedia Nova.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to be here to be involved with the Step-by-Step Organ Transplant Association. Before I go on to Step-by-Step, I want to tell you just a couple of things about our company. Our company publishes 16 different newspapers, language papers, and community newspapers. And over the past 5 months, we've embarked on representing as many publishers as we possibly can, and we've just taught 30 languages in Ontario. And we're very proud of this. Our mission is to speak to the widest audience in Canada as possible and give everyone a voice. Thank you. Back to Step-by-Step. Step-by-Step's mission is to promote the importance of organ and tissue donation throughout Canada by inspiring the public, media, and government. 10 years ago, in 1997, George created a charitable organization called Step-by-Step after he and his friend, Sam Vinci, walked from Toronto to Ottawa. This first campaign generated publicity and brought local attention to the issue of organ and tissue donation. Following this initial success, George recruited the YMCA Salvation Army and other organizations for his second Ontario walk in 1999. George walked 2,500 kilometers under the watchful eye of his road manager, Joe Camara. This time, the campaign drew provincial attention and inspired Premier Harris to allocate $120 million for the creation of a new organ donation agency. That agency became the Trillium Gift of Life Network. The Premier recognized George and Step-by-Step in his 37th parliamentary throne speech. In 2000, Step-by-Step continued to work at recruiting more organizations and individuals to support its third campaign, the 769-day walk. Step-by-Step organized a 500 community tour across Canada. George walked over 12,000 kilometers over 769 days, receiving national and international attention. His Holiness Pope John Paul II granted George an audience and proclaimed organ and tissue donation a genuine act of love. Across the country, his enthusiasm and unabashed optimism touched the hearts of all Canadians. He met especially other youths. Today, Kristopher will be honored along with his road manager, Billy Addy. 2 years ago, Step-by-Step and Multimedia Nova arranged for George Marcello to take his message to Europe. And we will never forget that year, George, will we? The purpose of the tour was to solicit information and advice from the world's leading organ donor countries in an attempt to find a solution to address Canada's organ shortage. There's something that's not in my speech this morning, and that is that when George was in France, we received a phone call that his liver had failed, and was supposed to, we tried to assist George and bring him back to Canada, and George got very lucky because within a couple of weeks of being back in Canada, he was blessed with another liver transplant. Over the years, Step-by-Step has been dedicated to and relentless in its search to find a solution to Canada's chronic tissue and organ donation shortage. In spite of the extraordinary efforts of George and his Step-by-Step team, much remains to be accomplished. We must do more, and more can be done. In that spirit, Step-by-Step is celebrating its 10th anniversary with the launch of its 6th campaign across Canada, SOS4000. Step by Step is not funded by any government, nor does it have any corporate sponsors. This initiative will require another massive undertaking from the Step by Step volunteer team and the support of thousands of people. Over 100 students will take part in a relay to pass the torch of life across the country. Some of these young people are here today. With SOS4000, 126 communities are participating and 256 press conferences will be held. Step by Step has clearly demonstrated the impact and power of these campaigns. It will provide comfort and offer hope to individuals in need of organ and tissue transplants, and it will also create positive opportunities for youth of this nation as they work to shine a spotlight on this important issue. Let's all rally behind SOS4000. Together we can and we will make a difference. Without further ado, it is my great honor and pleasure to introduce to you today George Marcello.
And thank you, Ms. Abitan. And now, to present today's award recipients, it is my pleasure to call upon Donina Lombardi-Hartig, Vice President, Public Affairs and Television Operations for CHIN. Ms. Lombardi-Hartig.
Thank you. Your Honor, on behalf of Step by Step, we honor everyone here today. The CEO and founder of Step by Step, Mr. George Marcello, has invited you to this very important event for a very good reason. In their absence, he wishes to acknowledge the following Ontario provincial members, Mr. Cleese, Mr. Cormos, Mr. Levac, and Mr. Lalonde, who are very supportive of the cause of donation awareness, and former MPP Barbara Fisher for working hard at solutions for organ and tissue donations. We will begin the presentations with our plaques of appreciation. Step by Step thanks the Board of Directors and asks the Board of Directors to please stand and come forward. At times, your guidance and faith has helped our charity reach new heights. Also, special thanks go to George's family, the Marcello, Grecki, and Dorzo families who are with us this morning. Your Honor, the Board of Directors. Board Member Mr. Sam Karajakanos. Board Member Mr. Joe Molika. Board Member Mr. Luigi Patitucci. Thank you. Board Member, Spiritual Advisor Pastor Bruce Smith, who is not here today, and we accept on his behalf. Board Member Mr. Mel Davis. Chairperson Constable Ojo Teobadi. Gentlemen, congratulations and thank you from the bottom of my heart. Next, the plaque of appreciation for the donor family. Step by Step honors the memory of Manny Castillo and Victor Davis, whose spirit will shine throughout SOS4000. Victor and Manny had a lot in common. The families are here with us today. Together we will celebrate their legacies. Your Honor, receiving the plaque today in memory of Manny Castillo are his father, Mr. Manuel Castillo, his mother, Mrs. Cecilia Castillo, and his uncle, Mr. Hector Castillo. Also in the audience are Manny's rugby teammates and coach from Lauren Park Secondary. Your Honor, Castillo. Receiving the plaque today in memory of the great Olympic champion swimmer Victor Davis is his father, Mr. Mel Davis, and his stepmother, Ms. Adair Hannah. Your Honor. Thank you. Your Honors, also receiving a plaque today is our chairperson, Constable Ojo Teobadi. His daughter, Florence Teobadi, will be receiving one of her dad's kidneys in a few weeks. Your Honor, Constable Teobadi. And Ms. Teobadi. Thank you. Step by Step needs road managers. Step by Step thanks the road managers for the courage it took to go on the road. Facing obstacles and challenges, you make a difference each step of the way. Your dedication will always be remembered. Your Honor, the road managers. The newest road manager for Step by Step is Mr. Lubomir Todinovsky. He will lead the way. Please come up. Not quite on the road, but Lou's managing already. Mr. Joe Camara for the Ontario Walk. Mr. Sam Vinci, the Toronto-Ottawa Walk. Mr. William Addy, Kristopher's Wish. Your Honor, also, thanks. Your Honor, also not with us today, we wish to acknowledge Elaine Berry from Quesnel, British Columbia. Bruce Smith has joined us. Pastor, please come up and receive your award. Pastor Smith is a member of the Board of Directors. Thank you, sir. Step by Step would like to thank the media for understanding the importance of organ and tissue donations. It is their voice and their written word that has helped over the years to bring the issue to the forefront. Your Honor, the media representatives, Mr. Kevin Hahn, Toronto Sun. Mr. Tom Harrington, CBC. I'll do it in order of appearance. I'm accepting on behalf of my late father, Tommy Mardich, and Radio TV International. Mrs. Monica Mattis of CTV. Congratulations and thank you, Mr. Mark McAllister of Global Television. Thank you. Ms. Lisa Priest, Globe and Mail. And Mr. Ted Wallachin, Toronto Sun, CFRB. Also unable to be with us today is Pierluigi Roy of Omni Television, Ann Romer and Laura Di Battista of City TV, also John Bowles of Rogers. Step by Step acknowledges them and will see to it that they receive it. And now thank you to the sponsors. Step by Step thanks the sponsors for deciding to support the campaign. Without your contribution, it would be absolutely impossible to achieve its goals. Your Honor, the sponsors. Broadleaf family, Daniel Broadleaf. The Grenadier Group, Steve Krajikanos. Brand Your Brand, Jean Bernanudo. On behalf of Brand Your Brand. The Columbus Center, Mr. Pal DiUlio. Word making money. The Fidani family. The Fidani family. Would you mind coming up?
One more time.
There we go. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. A Multimedia Nova, Lori Abitan, President, CEO, and editor. Mr. Joseph Milzarski. California Sandwiches, Nicholas Severino. Last but not least, Borja Viola. The next plaque of appreciation is